What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Walk and Talk. And for those of you who are OGs to the YouTube channel, you probably remember I used to do these walk and talks quite often. I think actually, if you're new to the channel, welcome. We're super stoked to have you. I used to do these walk and talks. I would do probably like I think I did 2 to 3 a week for a couple of weeks. And so if you want to go back and watch those, they're still there. And I think there's some good valuable information there if you want to go back and check it out. So that's number one, but we're back with one today. And hopefully, obviously I'm outside. So hopefully the mic isn't picking up too much wind right here. And if it is, I apologize in advance. So today in this walk and talk, I want to talk to you about your fitness goals and the other people around you in your life. And I want to start by saying this: when you, especially when you first kind of start off in a fitness journey and you're doing something different than what a lot of people around you are doing, you know, maybe you are trying to track your calories and count your calories while everybody else is just saying, fuck it, I'll eat whatever. You know, when you guys go out to, eat or go out on the weekends and be social, you are the one who's, watching what you eat and maybe not trying to drink as much and doing all these things. Maybe you're going to family events and, your family's making comments on, you're doing a diet, or, oh, you can't have that because you're dieting, or you're bringing meal prep somewhere, whatever the case may be. For lack of better terms, people are going to have some shit to say. And I just want you to be, number one, okay with that, because it's normal. Like right now, I'm walking around in public. I have this selfie stick. I'm talking into my camera here, right? Some guy just drove past and I saw his reaction. He was kind of like a little puzzled, but like, I don't care. And I'll tell you this, I used to care. And I can relate this to my fitness journey as well. I used to care a lot. Like right now, I would not be walking around with this selfie stick in the middle of, again, like here's the road right here, right? Like I wouldn't be doing this probably, I'd say 4, 5, 6 years ago, maybe even up to 3 years ago maybe, but like 4, 5, 6 years ago, absolutely not, because embarrassed, or what is this person thinking of me, or this, that, and the other. And you just kind of get to a point with it where other people's opinions, I don't want to say they don't matter, because you should like care about what other people think of you, but you shouldn't let that then dictate your life. Like right now, if you're watching this still, which if you are, thank you, but if you're watching this, just because I may be embarrassed about walking around with a camera and filming myself and talking into it, I wouldn't be able to do this video for you, which hopefully you're gonna get some value from, which then in return is gonna hopefully help change your life. I wouldn't be able to change your life because I don't wanna be embarrassed by somebody else randomly driving down the street. Doesn't make much sense to me, right? And when we relate this to your fitness journey, you have to understand a few things. Again, other people's opinion of what you're doing doesn't matter. It's not their life, it's your life. I heard, I've heard this saying multiple times from multiple people, but like, what I eat doesn't make you shit. In the terms of who cares what I'm doing, it's not your life. And so for that right there, I just want you to kind of like take a step back and understand the people who have something to say about your life and what you're doing. And if you're, and listen, the second part to this is the people who are gonna say the most shit are normally the people who are the most, either number one, intimidated. Maybe I can turn around and get better lighting. Turn around, get better lighting. Number one, intimidated, or number two, the people who are supposed to be doing the things that you're doing. A lot of people, they're supposed to be tracking their calories, they're supposed to be changing their diet, they're supposed to be getting workouts in, but they're not. And so because they aren't doing what they are supposed to be doing, they are going to take that out on you. And I gotta turn around because I gotta make sure it's walking. So if the lighting's not as good, I apologize. It will be hopefully better soon. But they have to take out their own insecurities on you. And that's where all of this stems from. The, oh, you're on a diet again, or oh, just live a little bit, or, oh, you have to pay super close attention to your diet, or oh, you can't stay out late because you got to go get up and get a workout. What are you, better than us? This, that, and the other. And again, whether it's family members or whether it's people you hang out with on a day-to-day basis, think about anybody who is like like if I were to meet you and if I were to like see you bringing your meal prep, like what do you think I would do? I would be stoked for you. I'd be excited. I would encourage you. I'd be like, that's sweet, because anybody who's on this health and fitness journey, who's actually a part of it and who's actually trying to better themselves and who's doing the shit they're supposed to do, they're never gonna give you shit. They're always going, like, if you met me, if we met in person and I saw you doing that, I would do nothing but encourage you. I would do nothing but, again, congratulate you. Honestly, I would push you to be better and keep going and all these things. Anybody who's not doing the things they're supposed to do, it automatically makes them feel bad about themselves, which unfortunately for a lot of people, the old saying of like misery loves company, right? Misery loves company, and so they're going to try to take you in because they aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So you should flip this in the way, this is kind of how I thought of it, you know, when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, I started to really understand this concept of just like, you need to flip this on its head, right? If the people around you maybe are giving you shit or they're not supportive or whatever the case may be, flip that completely on its head and say, damn, that person's hurting. Like, damn, that person is envying me. That person is jealous of me. That person, I'm doing something that is making that person uncomfortable and insecure. And from that right there, you automatically start to feel almost like in a position of power, more or less, because you're now doing something that, again, who do you know that isn't trying to improve their health? Who do you know that isn't trying to, you know, drop some body fat, get stronger? Who do you know that isn't trying to be more consistent with their workouts? Who do you know? You don't know anybody who's not doing that, right? And again, if the lighting is bad here, I apologize. Maybe I'll go this angle to get a little bit better. Oh, there's the gym I work out at, Lifetime. And so I walk to my gym pretty much every single day. It's pretty sweet. That was one thing, by the way, just really quick interlude here. One thing when I was growing up as a kid, I was always like, man, it'd be sick to be able to just walk to my gym. And like, crazy enough, that's how it worked out. But going back to it, those people are envious of you because you are doing the things that they are supposed to be doing, which they're not. They are trying to bring you down. Don't let it bring you down. Let it build you up. Again, like we were just talking about before I interluded. Who do you know that isn't trying to get healthier, drop body fat, get stronger? Everybody's trying to do that. And here's the other cool thing too. Not only can you flip it on its head to make it so, because honestly, it is a, almost like a badge of honor, so to speak, right? Because you're the one doing the work. You're the one making them feel insecure. And I'll flip that on its head in a second, but you're the one making them feel insecure. So it's almost like, you should be proud of yourself, dude, because if anybody's even saying anything to you, that means you're going outside of the norm, which then means you're gonna get an outside of the norm result. I think people often forget about this. If you do everything everybody else does, you're gonna end up like everybody else, right? If you don't wanna end up like somebody, why would you take their advice or 2 cents? So that's number one. And then the other cool part to this though is it's not like these people are bad people. And I wanna make sure we understand this because, you know, if you're having people who, again, maybe they're not as supportive or, you know, maybe they're just, you know, saying these things. Yes, it's probably coming from a place of insecurity, but it doesn't mean that they're a bad person. And I want you to understand this because you, if you're still watching this video, you are the type of person who can create a change. People look at someone, I'll just use myself. I don't have a massive following, but people use someone like myself as like, oh, well, Eric can make a change because he has Instagram followers. You know, I'm watching him on YouTube. Clearly he's, you know, he's impacting people. But what you don't understand is long before I had any social media at all whatsoever, I was just the kid who was like, yeah, I'm gonna bring my meal prep. I'm gonna make sure I, you know, eat healthier foods. I'm gonna make sure I don't overindulge on whatever it is, sweets, alcohol, whatever it is. And I was that person for the people around me. And I can't tell you, especially as I started to get older, out of like, you know, the high school years and stuff, especially as I started to get older, I noticed the people around me saw. They saw what I was doing. And we see this all the time with, whether it's myself or people in the clubhouse or my assistant coaches when they coach people. We see this all the time in people. You don't understand how much people are actually watching your actions and your decisions on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. And the really cool part about this is, like I was saying, I was that person who was kind of starting to like inspire people to, create a change and, make some change in their diet, be more I inspired them to be more disciplined. Again, before I had any of this social media stuff, I was inspiring them to be a little bit more disciplined. And so when you truly understand this, you want the people around you to be better. You want to be a good human being. If you're still watching this video, you have to be a good human being. You want to be a good human being. You want to create a positive change and impact. You want to impact your spouse or your kids or your friends or, the local moms around the school, whatever it is. You have the ability to do that. And I don't think people truly grasp that or understand that. Like people think you have to be some like influencer. What is the term influencer? The term influencer is like you influence people. You can influence people around you in your inner circle, in your neighborhood, in your community. And it's really cool because when you take charge of your life and you be unapologetically just like, yeah, I'm chasing this goal. I want to accomplish these things. This is the life that I want to live. When you do that, again, unapologetically, a lot of people tell me, they're like, oh, Eric, I like you because you tell it how it is, this, that, and the other, which I appreciate. But it's like, well, you can do the same thing. We can all tell it how it is. We can all be that person to, when you put your flag in the ground, other people, it's almost like other people get acceptance to be able to do the same thing, which is very noble. I think honestly, it's one of the best things you can do as a human being is to, I think Kobe Bryant said this, rest in peace, but he said, the best thing you can do in life is inspire other people to, be great at whatever it is they choose to do. And so you can be that person. And if you want the other people around you to win, it starts with you. It starts with you understanding if you just put your flag in the ground, man, you can be that person for other people. And, you can be that inspiration. You can be the reason. I can't tell you how many clients I've worked with or just people, that I've come across in my life where like, I'll just take one of my clients, for example. She had a meeting with some of her coworkers and stuff, and she decided she wasn't going to drink that time. So when everybody got to the meeting, there's about 5 people there. They got to the meeting, they're like, all right, cool. Like, what are we going to order? And she was like, well, I'm good. I'm not going to drink today. And everybody else was like, well, shit, I guess if you're not drinking, then I don't really want to drink either. And it's there. And everyone else was like, all right, cool, fuck it, we're not going to drink today. And it's like, because she stood her ground, the other people around her got positively impacted. So it's a big opportunity for you. If you can be, I'll say it like this, courage is rewarded. If you can be courageous enough to, again, put your flag in the ground, if you can be courageous enough to do the things that you're supposed to do and you want to do and chase your goals and achieve your goals and do all these things, that courage is always going to be rewarded. It's going to be rewarded in you reaching your goals, but it's also going to be, and again, you feeling good from reaching your goals and so on and so forth, but it's also going to be rewarded in you positively impacting the other people around you, which is then going to make their lives better. And, if you're a parent, for example, whether you think it or not, like your kids see what you do on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. And it's always going to come back around. I'm a firm believer in good karma. It's always going to come back around in good karma for you if you're that person who is brave enough to stand on their line and make sure you hold that line. So guys, that is pretty much the walk and talk today. Again, some key takeaways. Don't let other people's opinions in the short term, which, like, by the way, just really quickly, you have to remember, even if somebody is judging you in the short term, their ass is gonna go home and they got their own shit to deal with, right? Like they're gonna go home, they got their own shit to deal with whether it's their family or their spouse or this, that, and the other. They don't really care. Maybe in the very second, like they might make a comment or think something. They do not care what you're eating. They don't care what you're doing. They don't care what you're drinking or not drinking, working out, not working. It doesn't matter. So that's number one. But then again, beyond that, don't let those other people's opinions dictate your actions in your life. This is your life, not theirs. Number two, again, if somebody is saying something to you or judging you, whatever the case may be, it's coming from a place of insecurity on their part. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with an insecurity on their part. And they are just trying, and again, insecurity on their part from just like, they know they're not doing the shit that you're doing. They literally are like, fuck, this person's doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm not doing it, so I now feel like shit. And they're trying to get you in that misery loves company. So that's number 2. Take it as a badge of honor. Take it as I would honestly take it as a compliment over everything else. And then number 3, again, when talking about flipping it on its head and being able to, I'm sorry, there's a plane above, so I apologize if the audio is kind of bad, but being able to flip it on its head and like that person who's a little bit insecure, take that, still stand your ground. You don't realize how much of an impact that is actually going to make on them and their life. And again, the other people's lives around you are going to be positively impacted from you doing the work, my friend. So guys, hope you enjoyed the walk and talk. If you did, please, if you're still here, please feel free to drop a comment below. Let me know how you liked it. If you like me doing these walk and talks, I will absolutely try to do them a bit more. I always have stuff on my mind, which is why I enjoy my podcast, for example, which if you don't subscribe to my podcast, it's just Eric Roberts Fitness Podcast. So feel free to go check it out. But if you do like this, let me know below. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll chat soon, okay?